All right, so before the year closes out, I wanted to make a quick video about what has been in my camera bag across 2020 and what I've been using the most and why I've been using them. But before we begin, if you're new around here, I'm Pat Kay. I'm a travel photographer based in Sydney, Australia, and I make videos on photography, travel, and tech. Now, this year has been a little bit of a strange one, as we all know. Earlier this year, for the first 6-7 months or so, I was doing a bunch of traveling. And so a lot of these pics were based off the need for me to have a really light backpack, something that was like mobile and something that was like not too heavy on my back and all that kind of stuff. So all of these items here have been chosen specifically and serve dual purposes. So we'll get into that. First up though, let's talk about the bag itself. So this is the Peak Design Everyday Backpack in a 20 liter. If you are into photography at all, I'm sure you've seen this bag a lot. It appears a lot, but I love it. I was an original Kickstarter backer for this way back when, and since then I've owned like 7, 8 backpacks, different camera backpacks, and I've eventually just swung back around to this one because it's just everything that I need. It doesn't look like a camera backpack. It's small, it's sleek, it looks great. It most importantly has this function where you can sling it around your side like this and then open it straight up like that and then grab your things straight away, and you don't have to put your backpack down, which is a huge thing for me, especially when it comes to like traveling and making sure that your stuff doesn't get stolen. I'd rather have my stuff on my back than on the ground with all my other heavy gear. Plus, I don't want to injure my back, and so I don't want to carry such heavy gear with me. And having the 20 liter version over the 30 liter version, for example, makes it so that I'm more intentional about the things that I bring. So highly recommended if you're looking for a small, sleek backpack. All right, let's do bodies. So this guy, this is the Sony A7R Mark IV. This is my main stills camera. It's the one I take the most photos with, although I do take some video with it as well, but it's amazing. Great autofocus, super sharp, 60 plus megapixels. It's a photo beast, and I've had it for quite a long time since it came out, but it's never failed me and it's amazing. The next camera that I use is this guy. So this is the RX100 Mark VII, and I love these cameras, like a lot. If you had to, rate the, I guess, emotional attachment I have to any camera, this would be number one. I love using this thing more than I love using the R4 for many reasons, right? But this isn't the best shooting experience. The buttons are small, it's kind of finicky, hard to press, and I have like fat fingers. It's not the best image quality, although it's amazing, right? Don't get me wrong. It's not as good as the R4, right? But there's just something about it. The pocketability, the compactness. So I keep this on like the side pocket of my backpack and I can just pull it out whenever I see a shot. This thing for me serves such a like in-between moments purpose that I love it. I've shot so many of my favorite images on this thing, and for the most part you can't really tell, on my feed for example, that images have been shot on this or on a bigger body like these. So highly recommended that everyone owns one of these. This is like just the best off-the-cuff shooter that you can buy, in my opinion. All right, so the next one is a new addition. This is the A7S Mark III, and this one is specifically for video. It's a new one, so I got it when it came out a few months ago, but since then hasn't left my bag, and I've been shooting a lot of videos and doing a lot of YouTube recently, so this guy has been my main video camera. And this thing's amazing. It's every bit as good as the hype made it to be. 4K 120, 10-bit 422. It doesn't overheat. Like, it's just it's a beast. So yeah, it earns its place. All right, so the next one is the DJI Mavic Pro 2. well, Mavic 2 Pro. This is the best drone that I've ever owned. And I've owned almost every single Mavic that has ever been made. I've owned a bunch of different Phantoms. This is just everything you need. This 1-inch sensor is just absolutely fantastic. It takes amazing photographs and it does amazing video. It's small, it's portable. I have, 3 different batteries that I travel with when it comes to that, because I just love flying it. It's such a great flying experience and it delivers great image quality as well. So definitely a #1 spot in my bag. Now, we'll get into the lenses and what I was choosing this year. A little bit of a variance this year from what I normally go for, just because of a couple of factors, which I'll get into. But the first one I wanted to talk about is this guy. So this is the 1635 G Master f2.8, and it's my workhorse. 1635 has always been my workhorse, my go-to focal range. But unfortunately, this one for me this year, it broke. I don't know, I must have dropped it or something like late last year, but it stopped working properly. The aperture blades were not focusing correctly, and like they weren't expanding and contracting and all that kind of stuff properly. It wasn't even connecting to the camera properly, but that meant that I could only get it fixed only a couple of months ago. And so I didn't actually use it that often, even though I still ended up carrying it with me because I was traveling, right? But usually I would use this lens the most. Just a shame that I couldn't this year. The next one is the 85mm G Master f1.4. And this is a versatile beast, this guy. I use this guy like 40% of the time-ish. I use it for street photography, I use it for portraits, I use it for even landscapes, I use it for everything. This guy is so versatile and so sharp, and it resolves so well. It's a little bit heavy, but for me it's worth the extra weight in my bag to get the G Master version over, say, like the f1.4 version. But yeah, highly recommended. This is a huge workhorse for me. One of the newer additions to my backpack, I only got this late last year. This is the 24 G Master 1.4, and because I couldn't use the 1635 a lot this year, instead I had to use something that was very similar in focal range. So I decided to go for this length, this 24mm. And I didn't really understand how much I loved 24 until I used this as my dedicated lens for, a good 6 months or so. It's just so versatile. I've shot so many portraits on it. I've shot so many street scenes, so many landscape scenes, a whole bunch of different stuff with this lens. It, like the 85, between the two, have been my #1 and 2 lenses in 2020, just in general. This lens is that good. It's super sharp, the bokeh is fantastic, it resolves really, really well. I can't rave about this lens highly enough. Okay, the next one is the 55 Zeiss f1.8. So this guy I didn't use that much, but because it's so small and so light, I just brought it with me anyway. It barely takes up any footprint. It's really, really, really light. And when I attach it to a body, like, the overall footprint is tiny. And so this lens for me is a good substitute for street photography if I don't want to carry the 85 around. But also, for astro and a whole bunch of other different more like niche use cases. It's also super, super sharp, which is amazing. So yeah, this earns a spot in my bag as well this year. All right, so the next couple of things are just accessories and little bits and pieces that live inside my bag. So in terms of like straps and stuff, I use the Peak Design cuff, which is this little guy, and the Peak Design leash rolled up. And I love these two things because they're super thin and they're very discreet. They don't scream camera straps, right? Like when they're across your body, like you can't really tell that they're a camera strap, and it's very nice and subtle, what I like to go for. I've got some extra batteries, the smaller ones, the bigger ones. And then I use variable NDs a lot, especially for video. So specifically, I use the B&W variable. So I've got a 82 millimeter here and a 77 here, and I use the step up and down rings along with that. These two cover all of these lenses really well, and yeah, I really like them. They're super clear. They have no color cast. The quality is really good. They're really sharp as well. Highly recommended for these as well. Next, I've got my business cards, because in Japan, they still use business cards. So my business cards look like this, and they're basically very simple. So they are multi-photoed. So, you know, you might get this one or this one or this one, and it's like a, you know, a collector's thing. And then on the back is just super simple. You know, just my email and my website, super easy. And then I've got the Kindle Oasis, which I carry with me everywhere all the time, because I'm a huge reader and I love this device because it's just mad thin and mad light and really durable. Amazing. I have some masks, black ones, disposable, because it's 2020, and yeah. Rocket blower, and oh, like half dozen different like cleaning cloths, just because you never know when you need them. We've got some spray action going on. And then finally, we've got the tripod. So this is the Peak Design travel tripod in the carbon fiber version. And this guy is the best tripod that I've ever used. And I've been through a bunch of different ones, but when it comes to build quality, when it comes to design choices, like this thing is over-engineered. It's that good, like it's amazing. Like it's super light, super small, packs down really well, goes really tall when it's extended out. It has really nice ball head. It does have some limitations with like, you know, you need to raise the ball head up in order to make it swivel around and all that kind of stuff. But like the fact that it's like a one action thing, you know, it packs down really small. It's amazing, I love it. So that's that. And that's kind of it. That's everything that I've decided to keep in my backpack this year. And we'll see how that changes next year when, you know, we're able to travel a little bit more and, you know, we're a little bit freer. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Give it the thumbs up if you did. I make new videos on photography, travel, and tech every single week. So subscribe if you want to see some more. But for now, be well, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.